The story begins the moment the cave girl arrives in the modern world, still confused by everything she sees around her. Every detail, from the sound of cars passing by to the simple noise of an automatic door opening, startles her while also leaving her mesmerized. She walks slowly, as if stepping into unknown territory, analyzing every texture, light, and object with a primitive, curious, and completely innocent look. The narrator explains that despite her rustic appearance and rough movements, she is in a constant state of discovery, trying to understand this new world filled with things that never existed in her prehistoric reality. Her steps are cautious, yet there is a silent determination in her behavior. She wants to understand, wants to explore, wants to touch everything she sees. When she is introduced to the modern house where she will spend the day, her expression changes. She enters carefully, almost like a wild animal analyzing the environment before trusting it. She touches the smooth walls with her fingertips, runs her hand across furniture she doesn't understand, and stares at the lights as if they were tiny stars trapped on the ceiling. Her breathing grows heavy for a few seconds, showing a mixture of fear, fascination, and pure amazement. From this moment on, we understand that everything she experiences here will be completely new, and that includes the discovery of something that will change her life forever, a soft bed she never imagined could exist. As soon as the cave girl enters the bedroom, everything feels strangely silent to her. The closed room, the soft lighting, and the absence of threats make her instincts, usually always alert, momentarily confused. She looks at each element as if trying to translate a completely new language: the tall wardrobe, the closed window, the fluffy rug beneath her feet. Every detail triggers a genuine reaction, sometimes fear, sometimes curiosity, sometimes pure wonder. But nothing captures her attention as intensely as the large rectangular object at the center of the room. The mattress, covered with a soft and perfectly stretched sheet, looks like a mystery to her. She approaches slowly, tilting her head the way animals do when they cannot understand what they are seeing. Before touching it, she circles around it a few times, sniffing and observing as if analyzing a possible threat. Finally, she reaches out and presses her fingertips against the surface. The gentle sinking startles her. She pulls her hand back quickly, as if something might leap out. Then she touches it again, this time applying more pressure. Her eyes widen. With every new press, she becomes more fascinated, as if she were in front of the most extraordinary creation the modern world could offer. Gradually, she starts testing the mattress with her body weight. She places a knee on it, pushes, hesitates, tries again. It's as if she's trying to decode the purpose of that object. In her primitive logic, nothing about it makes sense, yet everything feels irresistibly inviting. Her expression changes. For the first time since arriving in the house, she seems to forget fear and fully surrender to a deeper, almost childlike curiosity. What she doesn't know yet is that this initial contact is only the beginning of a discovery that will completely transform her understanding of comfort and rest. After several minutes exploring the mattress as if it were a magical object, the cave girl decides to take the next step. She looks around once more, making sure there is no danger, then places both hands on the bed and leans her body forward slowly and cautiously, as if testing unfamiliar territory. The mattress sinks softly beneath her weight, following her movements, and this completely astonishes her. Accustomed to hard surfaces, tree trunks, and cold stones, she never imagined something could hug the body this way. When she finally rests her entire torso on the bed, she lets out a guttural, instinctive sound, expressing both surprise and pleasure. Her eyes widen, her breathing slows, and for a moment she remains completely still, trying to understand what is happening. It is as if she is being introduced to a completely new sensation, something her primitive mind has no category for. She rolls to one side, then the other, pressing her shoulders and hips into the mattress and noticing how it adapts to every shift in position. The texture of the sheet sliding against her skin creates a comfort she has never experienced before. No stones poking her, no leaves scratching her, no need to curl up to find a tolerable spot. On the soft bed, everything seems designed to welcome, protect, and relax. Her reaction begins to change. The tension in her muscles fades, her fingers loosen, her face softens. For the first time since she left her original world, she experiences something close to complete safety. A type of comfort that requires no vigilance, no fear of predators, no anxiety about the night. She closes her eyes for a few seconds, as if trying to absorb every detail of that moment. The narrator explains that, in that instant, the cave girl understands, even if only intuitively, that she has found something far too special to simply examine. That soft bed represents a kind of peace she has never known. As the minutes go by, the cave girl's relationship with the bed begins to change into something completely unexpected. What started as simple curiosity evolves into a growing, almost possessive enchantment. She begins exploring not only the mattress but also the pillow, squeezing it as if it were a sacred object, smelling the fabric, pressing it against her face as though discovering a new ritual. It's clear that each new sensation affects her in a way she cannot, and does not want to, control. When someone tries calling her to continue the tour of the house, she reacts strangely. At first, she only turns her head, as if ignoring the sound. Then she lets out a low grumble, a clear sign of discomfort at the idea of leaving her newly claimed territory. The narrator explains that for someone who spent her entire life battling harsh weather, wild animals, and freezing nights, finding something so welcoming can mean far more than simple physical comfort. That bed represents safety, protection, and an instinctive sense of belonging. As the attempts to make her stand continue, her reaction becomes stronger. She grips the sheet tightly, as if the fabric were vital to her survival. Her eyes, once filled with wonder, now express distrust and firm determination. Any movement toward her is seen as a threat to what she has just discovered. It is as if she were silently declaring, "This is mine. I found it. I stay." There is even a comical moment where she tries to hide completely under the sheet, as if that could camouflage her or make her disappear to avoid being removed. The narrator describes this as a natural instinct of preservation, a primitive defense triggered when something precious is found. The bed becomes more than an object, it becomes a symbol of everything she never had: warmth, softness, tranquility. At this point, it becomes clear that getting her out of the bed will not be an easy task. She is no longer just lying down, she is settled, rooted, almost claiming that space as an essential part of her new life. The attachment has formed, and her refusal to leave the bed is only the beginning of an unexpected behavior no one saw coming. From the moment the cave girl decides the bed is her new territory, everything becomes more complicated for those trying to get her out of it. The team responsible for showing her the house begins with gentle attempts, talking to her, waving, and even offering different objects to catch her interest. They show her household items, modern foods, toys, and even a mirror, something that would normally spark anyone's curiosity. But none of it works. Her gaze remains fixed, determined, like an animal that has found shelter after years of struggle. When they try to pull the pillow from her hands, she reacts instantly, hugging it tightly and letting out low, guttural warning sounds. It's not a threat, but a clear message: that bed now belongs to her. The team steps back, realizing that any sudden action would only make things worse. The narrator explains that her fixation on this newly discovered comfort is understandable. For someone who spent a lifetime without real rest, a soft bed is an invaluable treasure. Carefully, they try another tactic, opening the window so she can feel the breeze, hoping it will encourage her to explore more of the room. But even that fails. She simply adjusts the pillow, lies on her side, and pulls the sheet closer to herself as if preparing to hibernate. Her expression says everything: nothing outside the bed can compete with the comfort she has just claimed. In a particularly funny moment, someone tries to lure her with food, fruit, bread, even chocolate. She looks at it, sniffs it, but when she realizes she would have to move, she simply turns her head away and sinks deeper into the mattress. To her, the comfort she found outweighs any culinary curiosity. The bed is not only soft, it is stability, protection, and the first encounter with a world without pain, cold, or fear. Eventually, the team understands that pushing her won't work. Every attempt they make only strengthens her attachment to the mattress. The narrator concludes that before getting her out of the bed, one must first understand her behavior, respect her instincts, and find a smarter, perhaps even emotional, way to encourage her to stand. After all, no one expected something as simple as a bed to trigger such a deep reaction in someone who has spent her life surviving in a hostile world. After countless failed attempts, the team finally realizes that the only way to get the cave girl out of the bed is to understand what that experience truly means to her. It isn't stubbornness, resistance, or childish attachment. It is something deeper. On that soft mattress, she found, perhaps for the first time in her life, a place where her body didn't hurt, where her muscles didn't need to be tense, and where her mind could rest without fear. The bed wasn't just a modern object to her, it was a symbol of peace, something that simply didn't exist in her primitive and dangerous reality. With this realization, the team changes strategies. Instead of trying to pull her away, they create an atmosphere of trust. They speak in calming tones, show that they aren't going to take the bed from her, approach slowly, and give her time to understand she is safe whether she stays in the bed or not. The cave girl watches closely, still cautious, but the serenity of the humans around her gradually softens her reaction. What finally convinces her to get up isn't a command, a shiny object, or food. It is a simple gesture. One of the people sits beside the bed and rests a hand gently on the mattress, without touching her. It is a silent way of saying the space is not being taken away, it is being shared. The cave girl looks at the hand, then at the person, and seems to realize that nothing there threatens her. With a slow sigh, she adjusts herself, loosens her grip on the pillow, and finally places her feet on the floor. Her expression is mixed, part nostalgia for the comfort she just discovered, part curiosity for what else the modern world holds. The narrator explains that the moment is symbolic. She doesn't leave the bed because she wants to abandon it, she leaves because she understands she can return whenever she wishes. The fear of losing it fades, replaced by something new, emotional safety. The team accompanies her as she stands and begins exploring again, calmer, more open, more confident. But before leaving the room completely, she returns to the bed and touches the mattress once more, as if making a silent promise. The gesture is simple but meaningful. It represents her first genuine bond with comfort, and perhaps the first step in a deeper transformation in the way she relates to the world. The narrator concludes by explaining that the bed didn't just change her day, it changed her understanding of what it means to relax, trust, and feel protected. And as she continues her journey of discoveries, the viewer realizes that this seemingly small moment is actually a milestone in the emotional evolution of the cave girl, a milestone that, in its own way, touches everyone watching.